Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move on with this video here. We have another uh, day where we're going to be doing area, but today we're actually going to be doing surface area, which in a way it is a difficult lesson to understand, so we have to pay close attention and see if you can pay close attention on what I'm doing. This problem right here, very simple, finding the area of a triangle. All the formulas for that are already given to you, so that's pretty easy to find. Let me actually pull out the formula sheet here, and all those formulas are already given to you, and we are going to work with the ones on the right here today, so you will get to use those in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with our lesson here. Simple one here. We know that 5 times 5 is 25, and that is the area for that one right there. That is as simple as it could get there. For number 2, you just have to multiply the height times the base, and that should give you your answer. Number 3, we have a trapezoid here. A trapezoid, for the formula, we can look for it right there. The area is half times the height times a plus b. So a represents base 1, b represents base 2. Okay, some books write it like this: half times the height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, we don't even use this. This is not necessary. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, but again, in here they're giving you the formula a little bit different, but it's the same thing. So half times the height there is going to be 7, and then the base 1 is 11.9 plus 4.1. okay, we are going to multiply all that out. I'm going to write that half as 0.5 just to make it a little bit easier. That 4.1 plus 11.1 is going to be I believe it's going to be 16. Yep. Okay, and then we have 0.5 times 16 is 8. So if you were to multiply all that out, you will get 56. Okay, so again, we're just using formulas, and this should be pretty easy. Okay, number 4, you're gonna use the height and the base. You don't even need this for number 4. Okay, so don't get confused on that. This one here, we went over this yesterday. There is a formula, if you haven't written it down yet, where you multiply half times a times b times sine of big C. Okay, that's a formula that we went through yesterday, where this is the a, this is the b, and this right here is the c. Okay, so the area for this one here is going to be a is 44, b is 40, and then we have sine of 160. Okay, we are going to go to our calculator now. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Okay, so it was 0.5. Again, the reason why I write 0.5, that means half. Okay, 0.5 times 44 times, let's see, times 40 times sine, and the sine is right there. It's spelled like sin, but it's sine. Sine 160. You press enter and you get 193. Did I do this right? I'm getting a whole complete answer. The good thing is I'm verifying all of this as we're going here. Let me see if I wrote that correctly. Oh, we have to be in degrees. Okay, that's probably the problem. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so be careful when you are using Google. You see how it says radian and degrees? We're actually working with degrees. Radians is totally something completely different. You will learn about radians and that when you go to Algebra 2 and when you go to, you might have learned it already actually in geometry in the previous class. But just know that we are supposed to be working with degrees. That was the problem that I was having here. So 300.97 is what I got. And if I want, I could just round that to a 301. It does say in here to round to the nearest tenth. Since this is a 9, then we actually round to 301. Okay? Same idea with this one here. The area is going to be half times 43 times 33 times sine of 150. Okay, and I almost forgot that's the one you have to do. Okay, so you finish that problem for me. Okay, so let's talk about this ones here. I know these ones are difficult, guys. I get it. They're pretty difficult. So let's see if we can do them. Because they're pretty challenging, actually. I think they're pretty challenging. Okay. We're going to be using, once again, the area is half times the bottom times the perimeter. Okay. The bottom is already given to you. That's great. So we got 8.1. But we do need to figure out what is the... Oh, the perimeter is given to you as well. That's great. Okay, I didn't see that. That's great. Okay, so we have how many sides? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 there. So we multiply 5 times 11.8 to get the perimeter. Okay, so on this one we already have everything that we need for this. So I'm gonna go to my calculator. I'm actually gonna do it on my phone because I don't want to go back. So on my phone, I multiply 0.5 times 8.1 times 5 times 11.8, and that should give you 238.95. Guys, if you write this on Canvas, that's a perfect answer. Okay, that answer is very close to the answer. The exact answer though is 239 because you have to round. But if you write this, it will take it as a correct answer. Even you could even write 238 and we will actually take it as a right answer. Okay, so you know, don't worry too much about decimals or rounding. The system should take it as a right answer. And if it doesn't, let me know. Number 9. Okay, these are the ones that are more challenging. They're pretty difficult, actually, I believe. They're pretty challenging because we have to use the idea of special right triangles. If you don't know what a special right triangle is, this is where this gets a lot more complicated. So we went over this and we already know that each one of those is 120. Remember that I told you that the sum of all the angles was 180 times n minus 2. We have 6 sides here. So 6 minus 2 gives you 180 times 4. 180 times 4 is 720. And remember that since we have 6 angles, we divide by 6, and that's how you get the 120. Okay? So if this is 120, then this right here should be 60. That means that this better be 30. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my triangle here. This is 30. This is 60. Okay. The bottom is already given to you. Is this right here. Now we do need to figure out what this is. That's why we're doing this. So here's the thing. In a 30-60 degree angle, if this is A, this is A square root of 3, and this is 2A. So this right here will be 9. That means that A is equal to 9 over the square root of 3. You guys see what I did there? I just divided by the square root of 3 there. So this portion right here is 9 square root of 3. Multiply that by 2, and you get that this whole thing is 18 square root of 3. Okay, let me actually get an actual decimal, because 9 divided by the square root of 3 is 5.19 times 2. So this right here should be 10.39. Okay, where did I get that number? I divided 18 divided by the square root of 3. So if I go back here, 18 divided by the square root of 3 gives you 10.39. That's where I got that number. Okay, that's the perimeter. So now I'm able to solve the problem here. The problem is going to be the area is half of the bottom times the perimeter. The bottom is already given to us as a 9. And the perimeter, in this case, is going to be 10.39 times whatever, how many sides do we have? We have 6 sides. So we are going to multiply 10.39 times 6 times 9, then divide by 2. You should get 200, this is what I got on my calculator, 280.5922, which I could simplify to 280, I don't know why I wrote that 6 there, 280.6. Okay, I know it's a little bit difficult to grasp that. It is challenging. I get it, guys. I see it. All right, let's move on. Okay. Let's see. Okay, these ones are also pretty challenging. So let me go over this one here, and then you'll do number 12, okay? Okay, for first of all, let's see what we have here. The bottom is right there. We need to figure what that is. If this is 22, then that means that this is 11. Okay, we already know, if you look at this one and this one, those are the same. So we already know that this right here, I already explained that this is 60 and this is 30. So if I have a 30 degree angle, 30, 60, 90 triangle, I'm sorry, that's going to be, well, this part right here should be 11. If this is 60 and this is 30, that part right there is 11. Okay, remember, we have a square root of 3, this is a, and this is 2a. That means that if a is 11, okay, if a is 11, that means that this is 11 square root of 3. So this right here is 11 square root of 3. Okay, so it seems like we now have everything that we need to solve this. So area is equal to half times the apothem times the perimeter. The apothem in this case is 11 square root of 3. The perimeter in this case is 22 times the number of sides, which in this case is 6. So now we are going to multiply all that out. Let me start with the 0.5, or that's the half, times 11 times the square root of 3. As you can see, we have 11 square root of 3 times 22 times 6. That's going to give you a big number, which is 1,257.46, which that could technically be rounded to this right here. Okay, that is the exact answer for that. So use what I did on number 11 to do number 12. Okay, it's the same shape right there. Okay, so what I did on number 11, you're gonna do for number 12. Pause the video and see what I did. Okay, rewatch it as you're doing number 12. Okay, number 13, hard problem, very difficult. So let's go over this one. Okay, on this one here, we need to figure out what the apothem is, and we need to figure out what this is right here as well. Okay, so we already mentioned that this right here is 60, and this right here is 30. So I'm gonna draw my triangle here. Notice that I always like to draw my special right triangle. It helps me so much. So this part right here is 13. Okay, that is 2a. This is a square root of 3. And this right here, it's a. So if 2a is equal to 13, that means that a is equal to 13 over 2, or I'm just going to use a decimal. 13 divided by 5 is actually, why did I divide by 5? I'm sorry. It's 6.5. So this right here is 6.5. The A, that's what I mean. So A is going to be 6.5. And that means that this right here is 6.5 square root of 3. Okay, so this right here, this 13 is that right there. It's kind of confusing, I know. But this is 6.5. Remember, this is 30. And this is the 60. This triangle is that one right there. So this is 6.5 square root of 3. And this right here is 6.5. Which means that this right here is also 6.5. It's also 13. I'm sorry. Because 6.5 times 2 is 13. That's why I get that. Okay, so that the area is going to be half times the apothem, which in this case is 6 square root of 3 times 13 times 6. So let me multiply all that out. So 0.5 times 6.5 times, I believe it was the square root of 3. Yeah. Times 13 times 6. And I got 439. Let's say 439.1. So we can round. Okay. So that is 13 and that is 11. Okay, number 14 is actually pretty similar. I'll try to start it out for you. This is 30 and this is 60. So use that special right triangle to get the rest. Okay? Okay, so very similar to what I did on number 13. So I'll let you finish that one. Now let's go ahead and talk about what we're actually going to be doing today, which is surface area. Okay, surface area is the following. If I have a box, okay, I have a box. Surface area is everything that is covering that box. So think about the surface area as a carton. So if I were to break apart a box, it will kind of look like this. There will be a top, there will be a side, the back, the bottom, then there will be the side, another side right there, and then there will be another side. Okay, that right there is what we call surface area. It's everything that is covering the box. Okay, it's everything that is covering the surrounding. It's not what's inside, that's volume. Okay, so for surface area, we do have some formulas for that right there. And let me pull out the formula sheet for that. If you have a solid figure like this one here, all you have to do is multiply the length. I'm talking about volume now. The surface area is 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the length times the height, and 2 times the W plus H. Now what does that formula mean? Well, we're actually finding the area of this, the area of this, the area of this here, and the area of this. Okay, we have a top. Oh my god, I just screwed everything up here. Let me erase all of that and let me rewrite. We have a top and a bottom. We have a top and a bottom. That, the top and the bottom should technically be the same area. So to find the area of that, we multiply times the length times the height. And then we have the sides here. This side should be congruent with this side right here. And then this side should be congruent with that side right there. So we're finding the area of all those individual squares. Okay, so let's start with this one here. And this is very difficult to see at first, but then you start getting it. Okay, I'm gonna use a lot of colors here. Let me start with this part right here. That, and that right there. You see it? It's kind of like this part right here, back and front. So to find that, all I have to do is 3 times 3. Notice that I have 1 on front and 1 on the back here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So the 1 on front and the 1 on the back are the same. So we multiply that times 2. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's do the ones on the side. We have this, 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 and this right here. And then we also have the ones on the back of the sides there. Okay, so we have 6, this is 6, so 6 times 3, and then times 2, because we have front and back. Okay, now let's do the top and the bottom. That's also 6 times 3, as you can see. 6 times 3 times that 2, because we have top and bottom. So here's what we did there. We did the front and back. Okay, I also did the sides. Front and back. And then we did the top and bottom. And when I add all of that, that's going to give me my surface area that I need. 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. 6 times 3 is going to be 18 times 2. It's going to be 36, and this is also going to be 36. I'm going to go ahead and add all of those there. And that should add up to 90. The measurements is 90 centimeters square. When we're talking about area, it's always square. You do not have to put that centimeter square in there. All you have to write on canvas is this 90. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little definition of surface area there. Now we're actually going to do number 17 now. Let's talk about that one there. Well, this one is so easy. Here is kind of why. You know, front and back. So the front and back could be this right here. Front and then back. So that's 2 times 2. Since we have 2 of them, we multiply times 2. That's just 8 right there. Then we have the sides here. That's also 2 times 2 times 2. And then finally we have back and top there, which is also 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, we add all those together. 8 times 3 should be 24. That one was pretty easy, I will admit that. I should have done number 18 for you and let you do that. I'll kind of set up number 8. Well, I'm sure you can do it. This one's here. These ones are not that difficult because we actually have a formula for this. Then it's right there. Surface area is 4 pi r squared. And I do want you to use 3.14 as your pi. So let me I'm just pulling up my formula sheet here, so I also have it with me. So the formula for this one here is surface area. Remember, we're doing surface area right now. Is 4 pi r squared. Okay, the pi, we're gonna put that 3.14. We can put 3.1415, but I think 3.14 should work just fine. And then we have 10.3 squared. So these ones are actually pretty easy, because all we're doing is using our calculator and knowing how to do that. So it's 4 times 3.14 times 10.3 squared. We get 1,332.49. Okay. Now that answer is not technically that precise because pi, it's a bigger number, but I think that's fine. And if you put it on the system, it will take it just like that. Okay. So if you submit this on Canvas, it will take it as a correct answer, actually. All right, let's move on. 7 here. We have, okay. If it shows the whole thing, okay, let me actually do, because number 19 is similar to 21, so that one is easy. But let me actually talk about number 22, because this right here is showing the whole diameter. So we actually need the radius. Okay, we need the radius. Okay, the radius in this case should be 4. Remember, the diameter is twice as big as the radius. So the formula for surface area is, once again, 4 pi r squared. Okay, so 4 times 4 squared is going to be 16. I'm just going to multiply it all out again on the calculator. So we got 4 times 3.1415. I'm just going to put 3.1415 for pi. And then we have 16, which was 4 squared, is 201.05. Which I guess I could round to 201.1. Okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. Number 23, very simple as well. They're giving you the radius here on this round. The formula for a cone, as you see in there, is the following. Surface area, and again, I'm getting all of this from my formula sheet, which you should have already. Pi r squared plus pi square root of r squared plus h squared. This formula is complicated, but it's actually easier than if you did this individually. It becomes pretty challenging. All right, so I need to tell you something as well. This right here, that has a special name. Let me actually look for it. Well, it doesn't have a special name, but on the formula sheet, this is what you will see. You have the height, and then you have the radius. So we have the height, and then we have the radius. Okay. But in here, they're not giving you the height. So what do we use? Well, they're in here, they're giving you this right here. The D, that has a special name. Let me actually look it up for you, because I don't remember very well. Cone formula. Oh, it's called a slant height. So this will be L. So this right here is called slant height. And what is the slant height? Well, the slant height is this right here. So another way to write this formula is like this. Pi r squared. If you write it with that L, it will be pi times L. Okay? So in this case, I do need that L because that's what L is. That is the slant height. So actually this problem became a little bit easier. So you can use either formula. It's just that one in this one, we don't know what the height is. That's why if you don't have this, you gotta use that right there, okay? Okay, so pi, and on number 24, you're also gonna be using this formula right here instead. So pi 9 squared plus pi 20.1. Okay, so let me go back to my calculator here. And it's 81, which is 9 squared, times 3.1415 plus 20.1. Times 3.1415, and that gives you, let's see, I feel like the formula is wrong. Unless I'm doing something wrong here. Well, I'm getting something else on my end here. I think that formula is wrong. Hold on. I know this is always so weird when I'm doing these videos and I make mistakes. Okay, here it is. Did I miss something? So it seems to me that the formula is actually not that. It's pi RL. Okay, so that's the other formula we actually need to use. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I know that's a little confusing. I probably missed that on the let me take a look at the formula sheet one more time. Oh, you guys see, there is the R right there. I forgot it. Okay, so the R, this right here, there was an R next to that. So that's what was making this whole thing fail. Okay, so now I actually have to multiply this times 9. So let me go back to my calculator and see if I could actually fix that. No, I may not. Okay, so 81 times 3.15 plus 3.1415 times 9, which is the radius, times 20. I know I'm not putting this in order. It's 822.75. Now I'm gonna show you something that is actually kind of cool, and that Google is actually so nice in this way. If you look for surface area and you put a cone, it gives you like a formula. So like, okay, what do you have? This is the area. So the radius, okay, in here we don't have, so you can click here, solve for, but you need this line height on here. So in here you can't really use this one that much, but because you do need the line height, but you already know what it is. Okay, so here is the surface area of a cone. On this one we can't really use it because we don't have the height, but if you did have the height, then you could totally use it. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that you know, Google does have some of those things that you can use. Some of those calculators, they're called special calculators. Okay, so this one right here, if this is 2, then the radius is going to be 1. So once again, the formula, it's not really technically what's on the formula sheet, but it's going to be pi r squared plus pi rl, where this right here is called the slant height. So I'm gonna have you finish this one. Okay, you're gonna put it in all in the calculator and you're gonna give me an answer for that one, okay? I'll do number 25. Once again, the formula for this one is, I wrote it down over here, pi r squared plus pi rl, where this right here is my L, this right here is my radius, and that's all I need to use. So we have 11 squared pi plus 11 24.6 and then times pi, which is 3.1415. What you are going to do, you multiply all that out and you should get 1230.2, and you multiplied all that out. Okay, pretty simple, guys. I think these ones are easy because we have a formula for each one of those. We also have a formula for this one as well, for a cylinder. If you look at your formula sheet, it's right there. Surface for that right there. It's very easy, guys. It's 2 pi r squared. Let me actually write it down. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. So 2 times pi, the radius is 3. 2 pi times the radius, which is 3 times the height. Okay, when you multiply all of that together, and you add them, you should get 263.9. Okay, all I'm doing, guys, using the formula. Very simple. Be careful with this one here. This one, they're giving you that diameter. So from there to there, that should be 8. And this will be my height. So go ahead and solve that one for me. This one, very easy as well. Once again, I use my formula that they're giving us here. And let me give you a trick right here that you could also use if you go on Google. I don't usually recommend this, but since we're in summer school, let me do that. So if you type in surface area, and instead of a cone, we're going to look for what's happening. Okay, my keyboard went crazy. It says, oh, here, solve for the surface area, and they're giving you the formula there. So they're saying, hey, what if you enter the radius? Well, the radius on this one is 4. Sorry guys, I'm having trouble with my keyboard here that is doing that noise. So if you enter the radius is 2. Yeah, the radius is 4 actually. And the height should be 2. And it gives you the formula. Isn't that amazing, guys? I mean, I usually ask students to do this, but if why not use Google? I don't disagree with that. We will do some problems later on that you won't be able to use Google much. So be prepared for those later on, like this one's here. This one's, you can't really use Google. It's very difficult. Okay, so let's talk about this ones here. This ones are a couple of problems. So again, we're looking for surface area, and we have to identify what I have here. Okay. So I see a trapezoid, and I see a trapezoid that is kind of like a box. So the first thing I want to do is find, the area of the trapezoid. So we're going to be looking for multiple areas here. Surface area. Let's look for the trapezoid. Okay, that's the front and the back. And then we're going to find the area of the sides here. This right here, and this. And it's the same as this one right here. So trapezoid says front and back. I'm gonna call this one the sides, which we have 2. And then we also need the top and bottom. Okay, we gotta find all of that, guys. I know this is complicated, but that's what we gotta find. So let's start with the trapezoids. The area for a trapezoid is half the height times base 1 plus base 2. And we have 2 of those. So instead of multiplying times half, I'm gonna multiply that times 2. I'm sorry, no. If we have 2 of those, then if I multiply times 2, those cancel out, and you actually just get 1, which you just get h. Okay, so the height of the trapezoid is given to you as 4.6. The base, as you can see, one base is 5. The other base should actually be 9. Okay, now let's talk about the sides. The sides, we said that it was this ones here. They're the same, top and bottom, okay? So it's 2 times 5 times 6. Remember? 6 times 5 right there. And now let's go ahead and do the top and the bottom. Well, if you look at this problem, the top and the bottom are actually different. One is 5 times 6. Okay, top and bottom, 5 times 6. So let's do the bottom, 5 times 6 plus, now let's do the top. The top is 6 times 9. Okay, now we're gonna put all that together. We got 4.6, 5 plus 9 is gonna be 14. 2 times 5 is 10, 10 times 6 is 60, 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 9 is 54. Let's add all that out together. So we got 4 times 6 times 14 is 64.4, plus 60, plus 30, plus 54. I really hope I got this right. And yes, I did. Okay, very good. So when I add all that together, I get 208.4. So is this problem more complicated? Yes, it is. It's a lot more complicated. Number 33 and number 34 are easier. So I'm gonna have you do those two. I'm gonna do number 32 for you. Okay, number 32, you have to see what you have. We have the top and bottom. So that's what I'm gonna do first, top and bottom. Then the top and the bottom are formed, we have a rectangle. Okay, top and bottom. Why did I say rectangle? I'm sorry. It's a triangle. Okay, so we're gonna start with the triangles, and those are the top and bottom. Okay, remember, surface area is everything that is surrounding that. Okay, so top and bottom. So it's half times base times the height. In this case, since we have two of those, we're gonna multiply times 2, which is gonna cancel this. So it's just gonna be the base times the height. In this case, this is 6 right there because this is 6. So 8 times 6 for the triangles. Now let's talk about each side. As you can see, we have 3 different sides. We have one, which is the one on front. We have a second one here, and we have a third one here. The third side right there. I know that's kind of hard to see, but so let's start with the first one there. The first one is 8 times 5. The second one is going to be 5 times 6. And the third one is going to be 10 times 5. They're all you all multiply by 5 because they're all the same there. So let's multiply all that out, and let's add all that together. When you add all that together and multiply them, you get 168. Okay, I know, guys. Number 33 should be easier. Number 34 should be very similar to this one's here. They're pretty similar, so that should not be too hard. Let me do this one here. This is what I see. When I see this, I see I see For example, I have this one here, top and bottom. Okay, that's the top and the bottom. So it's 12. What is this right here? This is 8. They're saying it's 8. I see it right there. Okay, 12 times 8, top and bottom. Since I have 2 of those, I'm going to multiply times 2. Then I have 12 times 8 for this one right here. Okay, so 12 times 8 times 2. Okay, and then I have front and back. Okay, that's hard to draw, but it's 12 times 12 times 2 because I have back and front. Okay, when I multiply all that out, your answer should be 672. Okay, I don't know why I skipped 33. Let me do 34 for you. Once again, guys, I see 12 times 7 times 2 because I have 2 of those. And then I have 7 times 12. Let me add the other one here. And then we have 12 times 12. Times 2. Multiplied all that out and you should get 624 on this one. Okay. All right, very good. I'll do 2 more. I'll do 38. No, actually, I do want you to do 38 as a challenge because that's similar to 31 and there isn't another one like that. So see if you can do that one. I know it's challenging, but I believe in you. Okay, let me do number 37. I see, for example, all of this are 5. So let's start with 10 times 5 there. Times 2 because I have 2 of those. And then let's do top and bottom. That's 7 times 5 times 2 because I have a top and a bottom. And then finally, let's do the front, 7 times 10. When you multiply all that out, you are going to get 310. And then finally, this one, we have, let's start with this, 1 times 5 times 2 of those, because we have top and bottom there. I'm gonna put a bunch of colors in this one. Then I have the, hopefully this is not scary. Then I have back and forth. We have this. Then we have this right here. It's 1 times 2. And then I'll do the other one with green. Even though it's hard to see, we do have a layer right there that we can't miss that one. This right here. You see it now? Okay, hopefully you do. It's 2 times 5 because we have one there, but we also have one on the back right there. So it's 2 times that as well. When I multiply all that out together and I add them all together, that should add up to 34. That's my final answer. Okay, I know guys, surface area is pretty challenging. It is a difficult one. So yeah, so just give your best. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.